I'm going to be presenting my negative rebuttal. So first I'll start by saying my opponent believes that he wins the argument because I stated that developing the moon was important. However, it is false of my opponent to say he won the debate for this reason alone. The issue at hand is whether or not we develop the moon in the area of energy, which is my stance, or develop the moon in the following areas: study Earth's material on the moon for research, Mars alternative, resource rare earth minerals and elements, which is my opponent's stance. So my opponent refutes the argument that going to the moon to study Earth's material is costly and will not lead to any return on investment. He states that money can easily be used from the defense budget to pay for this. However, this refutation does not answer my argument that studying the Earth's material is costly and it will not lead to any return on investment. So it doesn't answer that part of my refutation. He just wants to use another source of money from somewhere else. So it's still costly. You're not going to see any return on investment, even if somehow we got the U.S. defense budget to foot the bill. Okay, so next thing is my opponent refutes the argument that developing the moon to study Earth's material provides little benefit. He states that without scientific research, we would still be living as hunters and gatherers. I think this refutation is a bit dramatic, in my opinion. I do agree that developing the moon is important, but more importantly is developing the moon in the form of energy. My opponent also refutes my argument that the Mars alternative is not relevant to the topic. Okay, so he states that I misquoted his initial argument regarding planet Mars. However, this is not true. In his affirmative argument, my opponent clearly states that the moon is a stepping stone to Mars. Again, this is about developing the moon, not going to Mars. My opponent thinks that we do not need to develop the moon right now. My stance is that we do, for the following reasons: energy poverty and climate change. My opponent refutes my claim that people are dying due to energy poverty, and that it is not simply just that it is not as simple as a lack of energy. He also states that I reworded it to sound that way. However, this is completely false. Those in energy poverty do use polluting cooking technologies, which accounts for a majority of deaths. However, these people have no electricity, so clean cooking technologies do not exist for these people. Therefore, my argument still stands that energy poverty kills millions of people, and it is as simple as a lack of energy. These people are dying, and they have no other choice than to use these cooking techniques. Okay, so lastly, my opponent states that helium-3 will not help us end energy poverty and stop climate change because we cannot utilize it. But this is where my opponent is extremely wrong. Helium-3 can be used as an energy source, and it is false to say that it cannot. io9.com states that the helium-3 fusion process is not simply theoretical. The University of Wisconsin-Madison Fusion Technology Institute successfully performed fusion experiments combining two molecules of helium-3. Estimates place the efficiency of helium-3 fusion reactions at 70%, outplacing coal and natural gas electricity generation by 20%. So, as you can see, he's completely false on that. In conclusion, it's clear that I have won the argument for the following reason. My opponent thinks that we do not need to develop the moon right now. Meanwhile, climate change is happening as we speak, and people are dying due to energy poverty as well. The moon can be used to solve issues right now, and as you would agree, saving people's lives and saving the planet are far more important than using the moon for the reason my opponent believes it should be used for. Therefore, you should vote for me.